Imagine being an employee where every 2 weeks you're just shifting into different directions. It drives people crazy.
That's what happens when you put a visionary in an integrator role.
The first year was like oil and water.
When I first got here at WEBIT, Eric was running both sales, operations, marketing, anything that a small business owner had to do.
Just making the payroll, just being here the next week was really the goal. It was pretty chaotic, it's pretty stressful, a lot of anxiety.
There was a point in time in our growth that we were trying to roll out some new service ideas.
My ideas, they would bounce around all over the place. I read a lot. I believe everything is possible. So when an idea comes in and sounds good to me, I immediately want to just take it and implement it into the business.
And instead of having a systematic approach, we just rolled them all out at the same time. It created confusion, chaos within the departments, and at the end of the day, the clients did suffer because some of the things that we were selling, we didn't know how to fully implement or support.
I'm going to guess most visionaries can relate to that because that's our natural state, is to just want to have a hand in everything and think everything's possible and want to sort of control the outcomes and just be in all places because you're the founder.
He knew that I had a little bit of a more methodic approach than what he was used to running with. I mean, this is his business, right? So this was a new role for him. So when he found that there was some resistance from my side, oftentimes he would go around me and just start rolling things out, which made things even worse. And during those times, I could just...
There's a lot of analogies for this. And
oh, man. I wanted to kill him about like 18 times.
We're just very lucky to both still be alive.
After I read Traction, I was hooked.
He's a very big believer in EOS, and I just conceptually couldn't wrap my brain around it.
I really thought that EOS could give a lot of value to WEBIT. I stuck to my guns, and I even ran EOS without saying I was running EOS.
Oh no, he was very much beating it into me. Yeah, he was like a sledgehammer every day.
And then after Eric had realized some of the improvements and things were starting to slow down, become less chaotic, that's when I actually told Eric, I'm running the company on EOS.
He was pushing me to get back in and read Traction, and Traction is more like a user manual. So to me, now that I understand the visionary and integrator roles, I understand why Traction is a book that resonates with him. Get a Grip, it's a fable, so it's told in a way that I could absorb it and understand it, and that was the light switch. It was like, oh, this is what I'm doing to everybody. Oh, this is why I need to have a filter in place and have somebody to run it by. And it was like two magnets when you're trying to put them together and they don't, and you just have to flip them around and then click.
He understood the relationship between the visionary and integrator. He knew the uphill climb we had to change his perspective on changing to a new operating system. We knew we couldn't do it alone.
We definitely knew that because of the dominant personalities that Paul and I both have, that we're going to need somebody experienced. So we reached out to EOS with kind of a list of must-haves in an implementer, and it was kind of almost a challenge for EOS. It's like, do you have somebody willing to take on a challenge like this? And they came back and said, we have the perfect person for you, here you go.
We started to grow, clients were happy, we were starting to get referrals. Things really started to take shape here. They got exciting. Rather than frustration and chaos, things got exciting at WEBIT because at that point we realized where we could actually take this company.
We tried implementing ourselves. So we did the level 10 every week, and it was basically like a 90-minute complaint session. That was it. That was our running on EOS before we actually got serious and did it the right way with an implementer.
Oh yeah, it was really bad.
Having an implementer there to make sure that we were following that process and all bought into that process was really critical.
So as people started to understand what success looked like as a team member of WEBIT, They started to really buy into the concepts. They started to have a better understanding of where the department, where the company was going. We started to have company meetings, which had never taken place before, all around this EOS structure that really gave our staff clarity. And as they started to buy in, they started to talk about their friends that are also in the tech industry. And you look at today, many of our current staff are employed here by direct referrals from other employees here at WEBIT. And I can really attribute that to much of what EOS has done for us.
And now, fast forward, last year we hit $5 million in sales. So payroll's no longer a problem, but we're on to bigger and better problems now with the $5 million in sales. We've hit another ceiling that we're trying to break through. A lot of people just want to know the direction of the company. And if the direction of the company is changing every other day, I mean, that's a lot to process. So now I'm able to see it from both sides, and I do have a place, and there is a superpower to this when it's put into the right framework. And that's what we've been able to do is harness not just my superpower, but Paul's superpower and everybody else's here, getting them into the right seats, getting them focused, and now everybody's, pulling the cart towards that goal, and the goal isn't changing. Because we keep having these meetings, and it's like, now, people are more bought in now because they know Paul has a rein on me, and I'm still gonna be me, but there'll be a time and a place, and it'll align with where we say we want to go. We're WEBIT Services, and we now have a place for me running on EOS.